Hello, everybody. I'm Tony Pellegrino, and this is part of a live tech talk we do every Tuesday and Thursday. Today, I've got a special guest, Todd from Vision X Lighting here, and we're going to talk all about Vision X and what makes them better. Before we do that, we're going to, as always, we welcome your questions and comments. If you have specific questions, please add as much detail as you can so we can better answer the questions. Of course, our guest today, Vision X LED lighting, and this is something that we've run for years, so I'm actually very pleased to have them on the show and talk about that. On new products, I showed the other day a brand new tail light that we're working with Vision X on. I'm not going to talk about it very much today, but I did want to just remind everybody that this is coming. It's still a few months out, but really cool new product that we're working on. And that would also be our feature product. So we've used Vision X headlights, driving lights for years on our Jeeps and on our race cars. You know, we've had tremendous success with those. As you guys know, I only will sell what we run ourselves, and they make some amazing products. We've got the headlights, you know, right here. This happens to be a black version, it looks like, versus the chrome version that we're looking at on the screen there. And I'm running those on Terremoto. There's Terremoto there. That's out in Moab when we were out doing a night shoot. Pretty cool. There's another, we do all the rock lights. We do all this stuff. You can find all of this on our website. So if you get a chance, check it out. You can go to the search box, type in Vision X, or go to the bottom of the screen and you can find their brand right there. If you just scroll down, you'll see it, and good stuff. So let's dive right into it. You brought us a bunch of new stuff to show. So talk a little bit about that and show everybody.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Tony. Really appreciate it. It's good to be down here in California. Thanks for joining us as well. So I wanted to bring a couple of our different products that are new to us, newer, that set us apart from everybody else that you see in the market. Vision X as a company started in '97. We were the first originator of the forward-facing LED light bar. We helped design that with NASA back in the mid-2000s. So we've been doing lighting forever. Company started, like I said, in 1997. We went through halogens, through HID, through combos, and then LED as the technology got better as time progressed. We've come out with more and more lights and different things for you to use on your Jeeps, your off-road buggies, razors, everything along those lines. So what I wanted to point out, one that's really cool right now, Tony, is the Unite bar. A lot of people don't know what this is, but this is a customizable bar. You can get it from anywhere from 6-inch 2-pod all the way to a 50-inch, as well straight or curved. And then you get the mounting rail, and then you buy the individual pods. We make them in a few different options, from frosted clear lights, they're 20 watts each, to a amber LED, to our new Selective Yellow, and then we also have the blackout lenses. So to see kind of like what this is, you can see the individual pod, and then they connect together with the H pins. So you can power this as one, or you can make each pod individual. So you can power with one switch, and you can turn that yellow outer pod for a flood, to a spot, anything you want to do.
Yeah, this is what Jordan's running on his race car, and it's pretty darn cool. I know you have the ability to light this thing up too, right?
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that so you can see kind of the differences in the colors and whatnot and the different patterns.
Let's
so you
shove
can see
that last one in, right?
Yep, we'll just put this in. That H-pin connector will power once it clicks in.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
I blind you?
So what's the deal?
They're super bright.
What's the deal between the amber and the Selective Yellow? I know that's kind of like the latest and greatest, right?
Yeah, so the Selective Yellow is a dyed lens where you won't lose a lot of light output versus amber.
Oh, it's cutting the light.
Yes. So with the amber pod, it's a 12 watt versus a 20 watt. So you can see almost it's not as bright between the two.
Yeah.
So what we did, we took our 20 watt pod, added our new Selective Yellow lenses to it, so you can get that yellow light for the really dusty conditions if you're up in the mountains.
That was going to be my next question, is explain to people why they want that, how that cuts through.
So with the standard white light, when it's super dusty, or if you're in like a heavy rainstorm or a snowstorm, these will blind you. You'll get glare right off of it. You probably
reflects right back.
Reflects right back at you, like kind of like your high beams on your headlights.
And the fog.
Yeah, fog the same way. So amber, you know, you can go back into the 80s when they used to make, you know, yellow fog lights. Now with the selective yellow, it actually pierces that fog dust better than standard amber. We came out with this past year for selective yellow, and we do make these lenses in other lines of our products you'll see here for our like Canons and our XPR bars, everything along those lines. So with these, with the spot and flood, you can customize this. So a lot of people, what they'll do is do flood pods on the outer side in amber and then spot clear in the center. And what that can do, you can turn on your floods only. So if you're in that dusty situation, everything like that, you're not blinding yourself with your white beam. You're just using the yellow or the amber. Or you turn it all on and then you just have the max amount of light possible. You don't want to look at these, especially up in the 50s range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And show them what this looks like from the side, this extrusion, because it's pretty cool looking.
Here, let me go ahead and turn that off so we don't blind everybody.
Ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see the aluminum extrusion.
It's pretty cool. It's a great idea.
Super heavy duty. You won't see any flex even up to the 50-inch bar. You can do end mounts like the traditional light bars, and then we also have our feet mount. So if you're putting it into a custom cage with a roof or smaller bar that you want to put on the bumper, you can mount it this way and not have the added light.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then each of these lights locks down, right? Like right now they're kind of moving around on here, but they lock down.
Correct. Yeah. So this is just a test sample to show you guys kind of what the differences are, how it looks, and how they slide together. But each individual pod has 2 mounting bolts that will lock it down to that bar. So once you tighten those up, it's not going anywhere.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Really cool. Really cool.
A couple questions.
Sure.
Someone asked if you sell replacement lenses for the Vision X Canon lights.
Yes, we do. So it depends on the generation of the Canon you have. So we have our CG2s, which are newer, which I have sitting right here. And then our original Canon Generation 1s, we make replacement lenses for each.
So the Canon was the single big LED, where these are the multi.
So the CG2s, we have single and multi.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so you're gonna, slimmer housing, you can see right there, this is what the CG2 looks like. The Canon Generation 1 is gonna be a more of a smooth housing that's deeper. And if you call us, or call into GenRight, you know, you can send in an image of it, and we can identify the actual light for you and get you the right one.
And then someone else asked, is there an issue with running the amber and the white on the shocker bar at the same time?
Yes. So with the shocker bars, there's such extreme power.
Which
if you run, yeah, you can see right there on that.
Yeah.
Why we don't run it, it would create too much heat inside, and it will cause issues with the LED circuit board. It'll get just too hot, it's too much power. So that's why when you get our shocker bar in the harness, you get either photon beam on or the elliptical on.
Oh, it's like
it's a rocker.
Or.
So
Gotcha.
it's exactly.
Gotcha. And since you touched on that, let's talk about that for a second. You know, you guys are using an aluminum board, right?
Correct.
So that's heat sinking off a lot of that energy.
Yeah. So with us, we own all of our factories. We design everything in-house. We actually manufacture the circuit boards for all of our LED lights in our Korea facility. And we use only 6061 aluminum for every board. A lot of other companies out there will use a lower grade aluminum or some sort of composite, which is not good for the heat. It won't dissipate as well. It also, with vibrations, if you're bouncing off rocks, doing the Baja 500, the vibrations are much better absorbed with this, because this is what truly holds your LEDs together. You can see right here, these are each individual LED. The outer circle, if you can see it, that's where our optic goes on.
Are you able to zoom in on that? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was looking at these things and thinking that was the LED, but it's these little yellow things on here. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, so with LEDs, you know, to touch on that, Tony, there's multiple grades of LEDs. So you can see lighting that is really inexpensive all the way to super pricey, and then everything kind of in between. So we only take the top 10% of LEDs that are made. We source through Cree, multiple other vendors for their best versions. We don't want to be subpar. With Vision X as a company, we do more than off-road. We go into industrial, mining. We also do OEM products. So we have to meet or exceed what those engineers can do.
Sure. And actually, you and I were talking about that earlier. The off-road lights really get the benefit of you guys working with those other companies because it's like the trickle down.
Exactly.
They've got a lot of money to spend on developing all this stuff, and then that comes down to us in terms of headlights and other off-road lights. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So like the Unite series, to touch on what Tony was just talking about, this was derived from our LED bar that we make for fire trucks that go across the top that will flash and be different colors and everything like that. We thought, hey, that's a great idea. You can customize it for, you know, your own vehicle, and people have that option instead of buying just a spot beam bar, a mixed beam bar, just yellow or whatever. So that's how this was derived.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so next let's talk about this, since that was the question. You brought this as a sample. That's really a compact unit. I know you make them bigger as well.
Yeah, so with this, it's the 12-inch Shocker X2. So this is the next generation of our Shocker bar. What you'll see here, it's a dual row, kind of brings back that look of what we did with our X-emitters when we first created the LED light bar, but at a much higher power, you know, rating. You can actually shoot down the road about 3 times as much with this. And then you also get the halo backlight, which will match our headlights, our XPR bar. If you have the Optimus, you know, fog lights in your bumper or up on your A-pillar, kind of ties that whole look together so you have a finished package.
Sure.
We use the same Shocker housing as the other one. You can see with ours, all the vents and the fins. So not only is it for cooling, it's also for structure.
Nice.
IP68 tested, we salt spray, we dunk test.
What is IP? Is that how it's sealed?
That's how it's sealed, and the rating that you have to get from an outside source, it's a certification.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
for if it's waterproof or not. So it's IP68 is, you can drive this down 9 feet underwater and it will not allow water in.
Wow, that's cool.
Not a lot of companies can do that. You know, they're IP67 or they're not rated at all.
Gotcha.
So that's why you're going to pay a little bit more for it. But with our products as well, as you know, being overbuilt is the way we like to call it, we do put a lifetime warranty on there. Nice. And we'll stand behind that.
And these are all those like factory style connectors too, right?
Yeah, so these, we all use waterproof 2-pin Deutsch connectors. Depending on the light, it may look a little different. We have a high current version and then the standard, which are what you see here. But on the 50-inch Unite bar, you're going to get the high current just because of how much power that thing will draw.
Pull. Yeah, yeah. Nice. Next, let's talk about these. So this is a product that you mount on either side of a JL or a Gladiator, right? Some of the new Jeep stuff. And you can mount some nice A-pillar lights, right? So you can get a variety of different sizes. You know, this is the 4.7?
Yep,
yeah,
4.7.
on this size. They make the 3.7, which is what I've been running on the front of like Terremoto or my JL. And but I just got these from you guys. So this is what I'm going to be putting on the A-pillars and trying this out. So I'll
Someone asked how much do the small pods cost. I want to replace my fog lights with the ambers.
Oh.
You're talking for the Unite series?
No,
or no, he's talking for like the Optimus?
Like these?
You're $300 for just the lights for the pair?
Yeah, we've got them on our website. So
yeah.
You can go right there and look.
So depending on your application as well, we do make OE specific kits, which we'll touch on, same with these cowl mounts. But we do have for the factory bumpers. We also have them for some aftermarket bumpers as well, flush mount, Duro series and whatnot. Yeah. So go on to GenRight and they have everybody, all of our products.
Yeah, we've got the mounts that would fit it into a factory bumper and the lights, which are this size.
Yeah.
So, and this one here, what I like about this one is this is another version that has an amber halo. So I wire these to my turn signals and then that flashes when I put on my turn signals. So, and then you can still run the driving lights or whatever you want to do. And they work great.
Yeah,
so.
That was a good point on the halo. So all of our lights that do offer the halo function, you will see
An
a
extra wire.
white wire off of that pigtail. This controls that function. We do not give you a harness with this because it is user selectable. You can have it as your turn signals as you're using. You can put it on with your parking lights, tap it in that circuit, run it on a separate switch.
You know, it can come on with the ignition, whatever.
Yeah. It uses a
totally
shared ground. It just needs a low voltage 12-volt signal to power that.
Yep.
and a soft glow, and same thing with the headlights.
Same with the headlight.
Yeah.
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 So and the headlights are plug and play too, so that's nice. They've got this universal connector, and then there's an adapter to bring it into like a JK or.
Yeah, so it's actually cool. The last few years, we came out with a JK specific headlight, so no longer needing an extra harness and adapter. So with the CAN bus systems, you put an LED headlight on a JK, it'll flicker. It uses the H13 connector versus the H4 on this. So this is going to be our standard 7RD black chrome TJ.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You can run them just about anything that a sealed beam you
that feels heavier than I remember. That's got some meat to it now.
Yeah, the heat sink, we upgraded all the heat sinks, because it's a running change. We designed these initially in 2013. As time progresses, we will make running changes, upgrade them. Yeah, and make them better.
That's nice.
These do come with our lifetime warranty as well, but we have these from everything from the TJ to the JL, multiple options. So this is the black chrome version with the white halo. We make it in a chrome, as you saw on the other picture.
Yep.
And then you can also do amber halo.
Nice.
So you can take your pick.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And you also have that all-on feature as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where you can run the high and the low at the same time.
Correct. Yeah, it's called our high 4 adapter.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So. It gives you about 30% more light output when your high beams are on, instead of just having the factory style where it's just high beam, low beam circuit independently.
Yeah. Cool. What's next? What are we talking about next? I know. So
you touched on the sizes that we offer in our Canons and our CG2s, and so Optimus. So Optimus are going to be in the smaller size, the 3.7s.
Take one out.
And then we also make those in a 3-inch square. In the CG2 series, we make them in a 3-inch square, 3.7, 4.7 as you see, 6.7, and then the massive 8.7s.
Yeah, which I think he pulled some out down there, didn't he? I know I saw him grabbing some of those.
Didn't see it. They're about double the size of this, and what we like to call in the multi-LED series, that'll melt your face off.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the little guy, which is, pretty nice. That's a nice size. It's got a lot of foam in there.
Yes.
And again, these mount on here, really easy, right? Or you do the brother to it, like a little bigger.
Yep.
Yep. And then talk about the lenses a little bit, because you brought both. And,
I did.
And this. Whoops.
So when we were talking about our Selective Yellow lenses, what we do with the Canon series, we do have a multitude of covers that are snap-on to change beam patterns, also color. So you can do amber, you could do red, you can do blue, you can do clear, and then we can change the beam from spot, flood, Euro, wide flood. So there's just a whole bunch of customized features you can do with these Canon series lights. Within the CG2 series, we still make the single LED, which is what that is going to mimic. But then we also do our multi-LED, which is going to give you a combo.
Oh, that's right. It's got 3 LEDs in there instead of the 1.
Yeah,
right?
So if you do the multi-LED in this, it would have the 3 in the 3.7. And then as you go up, there's more LEDs within it. With the CG2s versus our original Canons, which we're known for, they were the longest range light you could buy.
Right.
These surpass that. We fit in.
Really?
Yes. About 40% more depending on the size of your light.
Wow.
It's crazy because the LEDs are getting smaller. You can put a 75 watt LED into what used to only take a 40.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the first ones I got were 25 watt. Yeah. So they just keep stepping it up. Crazy. More questions, boys?
Somebody asked if you make YJ headlights.
We do not make YJ headlights. Not yet, at least. We do have some other headlights we do that are 4x6 for other applications, but the 7-inch are #1 seller.
And do you offer rock light?
Yes.
So we do.
Yeah, there's the tantrums,
Yep.
which we've got on our website, and the pods.
Yeah,
the
which were the
ProPod.
9 watt Pro Pod.
Yeah.
Well, the Pro Pod was different than that. So the 9 watt, which some people might be asking about, those have been discontinued.
Oh, that was like in a
longer-
little black housing.
The little black housing,
Yeah,
They just there's so many other ones on the market that look the same. People didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So we still do make the tantrums. We have those, which are you can do selected multicolor. You can do white, amber, red, green, blue in those packages. And they come with 8 pods each, and then they're controlled by a remote control.
And those are still like 149 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then I've got the Pro Pods on mine, which work great.
Yeah.
And I like how the light is really distributed evenly, because it's got that frosted lens.
Exactly. It's more diffused.
Yes.
So it's not spotty like traditional rock lights. Yeah. So the Pro Pods we're still doing a lot of, and a lot more, I try to push people into that more so because those still have the IP68 rating for the waterproof, so you can dunk it underneath if you're traversing a river or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's the ones I would recommend.
I know Jordan's running those on his race car too.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think Jamie has those too.
What's needed to mount the Canon lights to the GenRight bumpers?
Well, if you want to mount one of these to the bumper, you just need to drill a hole and you poke it right through, right? Same with this. I mean, a lot of their lights, if they've got that single bolt mount, it's super easy. One like this requires a little plate that we make that goes over the winch fair lead. And I think that's, $29 for that little plate.
Yes.
And yeah, and I've got one on Terremoto right there. But yeah, it's a super easy thing to do, and you can mount a light like this, and you can mount it on their little studs that they have down, or the side mounts. Either one works. So I like this. That's a very compact unit, and that's gonna have a lot of light. Do you know the lumens and stuff offhand?
I don't. So what we show on our website as well, and you can get in our instruction manual, we test every single light we have with photometric data. So you can see exactly what that light will throw, how far it will go down, and what the beam pattern is right on our website.
And I see that on some of the boxes.
Yeah, some
too?
of the boxes do have it. So like on this 4.7 right
this
here.
one does too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the difference in the beam patterns and the depth that they go through.
Oh, and it tells you Euro, elliptical, flood, spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's helpful. And I know that I took some of this information and put it on our website as well.
Yeah.
For each of the lights. So it would be an image that we have in the information. So
correct. And you don't want to, like, when you're comparing LED technology between us and the other brands that are out there, you don't want to just get hung up on the lumens, because that's usually rated as raw lumen, which is, the LED light with a camera right here, not actually how that reflector is focusing that light down the road.
And what it's doing.
Yeah. So we test all those in-house and send it external, and we have all that data, and we're happy to share it with anybody. We don't hide that fact. And 99% of the time you'll see any comparison, ours will outperform the competitors.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know one time I was looking at one of your big light bars and comparing it to the light output on two of the headlights with the all on feature.
Mm-hmm.
And these things rock.
Yeah.
They really do good. So.
And these are DOT approved.
Yeah.
Which we didn't even talk about. So it's as bright as you can get for DOT approved, and you won't have to worry about changing it and having a police officer pulling you over doing anything else. It's DOT stamped.
Now, granted, when you have your high beams on, that's really kind of to do it all together is an off-road feature, but.
Exactly. Yeah. But for the guys that are just on the street, you don't really want to run the Canons or anything else on there. These are definitely not street legal.
Right.
Yeah. We have a couple more questions. Pros and cons of running the CG2 multi-LED versus ADV series for a front bumper.
Okay, so I don't have the ADV here, which is a derivative of kind of a mix. So we make the CG2 with the multi-LED and then the single chip LED. Each one does something great. The single chip will give you the extreme distance you're looking for. This will give you that melt your off face right in front of the vehicle. What the ADV is designed to do is kind of bridge the gap between both of them. Oh. So it doesn't do it the perfect, right in front of you and distance, but it does a combo of the two. So if you're looking for one light and you can fit them because they're made in 6.7 and 8.7 only, so they're the bigger lights.
Big.
Yeah. But I would recommend those. A lot of people are using them for that overlanding aspect.
This big,
or
exactly.
Bigger,
right?
Yeah,
and they look kind of like that, or
so they're going to have multi-LEDs in it. You're going to have two that are focused for widespread pattern, and then the other ones are using our iris reflector, like our XPR bar, which will give you the distance.
Gotcha.
But compared to a single chip Canon, it won't go that far. Gotcha. Just depends on what you're using it for. If you're going 100 miles an hour down the road and you don't want to outdrive your light, use the single or a combo of both.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you make all the different lights.
Exactly.
Right. So you can load it up, put some on the A-pillar, put some on the bumper, have some overhead, right? Get that mix. I happen to like mine. You can see my Jeep is right behind the camera, where I like it down kind of bumper level, all flashed out there.
Oh, yes.
Tends to light up the dust less and.
You don't have to glare off your hood.
Right.
You know, is the other thing with mounting a light bar up top. You know, so we recommend wherever you want to put it, you know, for looks, you know, it just depends on what you're using it for.
That's right. That's right. So.
And so we have that option with all these lights. So you can see we have these are just what, 10th of what we actually offer in the automotive side. But I just wanted to
because you guys do backup lights, you do all kinds of stuff. Right?
Yeah, we have reverse light kits. We have if you have
Gladiator and stuff.
Yeah, if you have a tow vehicle, big Super Duty with like the road armor bumpers or something like that, we have the lights that fit right in.
Yep.
Overlanding rack lights, and then just universal lights, which just depending on what you're trying to do and accomplish, we have it available.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, what other questions have we got, guys?
You make taillights.
Well, the tail lights, they're basically making us a tail light, and this is a brand new one. It's got built-in reverse lights, and then of course stop lights, and it does have a side marker light. So these are new and just be out in the next couple months. Very thin, flush mount, really nice. So that's the next thing coming.
So
The super exciting, coming soon. Yeah.
On the replacement headlight, can the high-low feature be low on, high only, or high and low on? So, like, is it high, low, or both?
So, if I'm understanding the question correctly, you're asking if the low beam circuit's on, will the high beam be on?
I guess if it's
You have both
optional,
on.
they have lows on, highs on, or both.
Okay, so how the headlights come without the added harness, they're going to work just like your factory lights. Low beam when low beams are on, high beam when high beam's on. You add our high 4 adapter that's a plug and play unit. What will happen is when the low beam, it'll just keep low beam on. As soon as that high beam is triggered, it will actually has a little converter box in there that will trigger the circuit for the low beam. So it will run the high and the low when the high beam's on only.
So basically the low stays on and the high clicks on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tony, how do the Pro Pods handle the trails? Ever have issues hitting rocks, etc.? Or do you have them tucked up out of the way?
I do. On mine, I've got them tucked up out of the way, but we've run them in a variety of locations over the years, and that thing's beefy. It's polycarbonate as well.
Yep.
So it's really heavy duty. It holds into place. It comes with 4 bolt holes, which you can rivet on. It does have some 3M stuff that you can stick it on to hold it there while you're mounting it. But I've also used RTV and just, shoved it on there, and that's that. When it dries, it's on there. So the other nice thing about using something like RTV is it gives it a little bit of shock load. So if you do smack it, it doesn't, take the whole brunt of it. It'll kind of vibration damage.
Actually drilled a circle and mounted it behind the fence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jordan did that too on his race car, where it's mounted from behind and only the circle sticks out, which is kind of cool. So, and it is a super nicely diffused light. If you're using them as true rock lights, it's a soft, it doesn't overexpose your eye, just really what I think is just right. So.
And we do make those in other colors as well.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah, we do. So traditionally, it's
I didn't
white.
even know that.
Yeah.
Question.
Okay.
Vision X lights have a digital lighting controller for colored lights or dimming applications.
So some of our lights are dimmable. With the color lights, if you're like the backlighting is only in white. And the reason why we did that is because we want a functional unit that won't have extra issues going down the road, where if you have like RGB built in, Bluetooth,
Too many.
there's too many
fancy
things to go
things.
wrong
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
And Vision X, we want to produce the max amount of light possible and be good at it and last you the life of your vehicle. So we don't want to add the kitschy stuff to it, I guess, if you want to call it that. But we did know there was people like the backlighting. That's why we did it, and we're moving towards that with all these products. And then touching on the dimmer section of it, so on the Optimus, you can get our prime drive dimmer. And you'll see on here you have the white for the halo, but there's also a green wire for dimmer. And it's a separate control module you have to buy, and you can dim this up to 50%. So it's by either a knob with like a potentiometer, so you can kind of control 50 to 100 finite, and then you can have the selectable where it's 50, 75, and 100.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we do offer that as well.
Okay, so
not super
then
popular though.
On the colored thing, is that different on the tantrum lights, which are rock lights? So I didn't know if the question he was asking was rock light related or not.
Okay, yeah.
They have the multicolor one for that, right?
Yes. So with that, we do make multicolored and different, just standard single colors in those. You're not having the same amount of stress you would as with a light
One of
bar
these.
or a Canon, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have huge vibrations with these things, and the power and the heat that's produced
Is
will
different.
is just different. It will
Yeah.
destroy a lot of the circuitry.
So for lights like this, you have colored clip-on.
The PCV covers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if they want colors, that's a way to do it too, like the blue, the red.
Yeah.
right?
So like if you're up in the snow, blue works awesome. You definitely don't want to use those on the street at all.
Yeah, you'll get a ticket right away.
Very much so. We do make red as well. More of those geared towards, kind of like the fire, that marine aspect of of our line. But we do offer them because they will just snap on any Canon series that we have, even the originals if you have them, as well as the CG2s.
Yeah. In fact, there's Alex, I don't know if you can zoom in, but they've got the color stuff here as well. What, you got one back there?
Even better.
Even better. So, there are several different ways, but I wasn't sure if they were asking about the colors toward the rock lights, because people do like that colored thing. Does it just randomly go through the colors, or can you pick a color, or how does that work?
So on the Tantrum kit, it's selectable by color is what it is.
There
So
we go.
you pick just red, but you can with the Tantrum kits, you can make them flash, you can make them strobe, you can do different things with them if you really want to get that look. But in terms of just lighting, if you're just strictly off-road and you're not looking for that stand dune aspect, the Pro Pod is what I would recommend for sure.
All right, so here's some of those covers.
Yeah, so you'll see here, this is the red.
And this is just a black.
Yeah, so that is the blackout street legal protective cover. So we make these for some of our light bars, our XPR, XPLs, and then all of our Canon series. So what that will do is not only protect it against stray rocks or something happening to our lens, but also there's no police officer or anything. If you have these just sitting up there, they might be like, hey,
You got too many fat forward-facing lights.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Depends on the state, all the legalities, different counties.
So these just snap on, clip on?
Yep, you pull the plastic out.
Oh.
Is that like the kit that allows you to go from white to selective yellow?
No, so we do make an amber version. So what's going to happen when you put an amber version on our Canon, you're going to lose about 25 to 30% of the light output because it's thick and it's changing to a darker amber color. So when we came out with the selective yellow, we're using a dyed lens. So you really only lose about 5% when we did that photometric test we were touching on earlier. And what we do, so if you have a Canon or CG2 or the Optimus series right here, we make, if you have them in clear already, we make upgrade kits to do selective yellow. Or if you buy selective yellow versions, you decide down the road, I kind of just want white. We make the replacement white.
So you just take these bolts out.
Yep, the 4 screws on these, it's from behind, and on 4.7s and larger, it's in the front. Pop them out, pop the lens in, put the screws back on.
Okay.
Quick and simple.
Nice.
And
and these do clip on really nicely. Yeah. Once you take the plastic thing. And this has a little cover on it so you don't scratch it right now. That's
and those glow in the dark.
Glow? Yeah. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. And go ahead.
More questions.
We make about 58 different combinations of lenses.
Yes, because they've got all the patterns built in.
Yeah, so this is going to be what we call our spot red, which is just clear. It's not diffused at all.
Right.
Whereas you look at other ones, if you want to go to a flood, you'll see some fluting in there to change
the Euro pattern, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
Cool. So a lot of people are asking what separates Vision X from the competition.
So we are the originators, like I said, of the LED light bars. So we start with that way back in the mid-2000s. We also stand behind our products 100%. There's really no questions asked warranty with our automotive side, where some people will, create issues. That was a wear item. So when you call us or you call Tony and his team, we will take care of the problem. No problem. No questions asked. With that, also what we touched about we are really big, much larger outside of the automotive spectrum than the other companies.
Yeah, this is only 20%.
Yeah, so we started in automotive space, but then because of lighting and LED technology, we branched out to mining, industrial, marine. You'll see us with in the big shops, in the warehouses. We make lights for them. Our Pitmaster series, which we do for a lot of the big cat dump trucks, the ones you stand next to and you're this big to it.
Yeah.
We make all the lights for them. And this is one of the boards for it. So you can see just like our XPR board,
Yep.
that we make this stuff in-house as well.
Also on aluminum.
Also on 6061
Yep.
aluminum. So this was derived from these. So we're going to put, because these guys don't really have budgets.
That's that trickle down we were talking about.
The trickle down effect from that. So we learn a lot because those are extreme conditions. You know, mining being, they have to have certain restrictions that you have to go through and the requirements that we have to meet. You know, they can't have, like, for spark or for heat, because you're in a confined space in a mine where we're testing to do that and qualifying our parts for it, and then we do the same thing with the automotive side.
Gotcha.
So that's why I can say with ours, if you use it once, you'll never switch again.
And you guys are really, like with the shocker bar and stuff, you guys are the innovators. I mean, look at the broad range of product you've got here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we want to keep innovating, of course, as time goes and everything comes to fruition with more LED technology and all that. Nobody has a pod like this, the Unite series, where you can customize it with whatever you want to do with beam patterns and colors and blackout and curved versus straight. So it's just, there's so many parts available just in this one series. And then we have the shocker version 1, the shocker version 2. You know, our CG2s, we own so many patents on lighting technology that we can't be copied. I would put this series up against anything in the market and we'll destroy it with the CG2 series. And it's just not the light output. You can see our trunnion brackets is 1/4-inch steel.
Yeah, and all the bolts are stainless. I mean, this is all just really nice quality.
Yeah, if you pick one of these up,
and not just this one has the stainless too. I mean, they're beefy. You know, that's got some meat to it.
Yeah, if you hold this, you know, if like one of your friends or, you know, like basically what, even my buddies, you know, they bought an Amazon light, you know, like $100 light bar that was 50-inch. Our 20-inch bar weighs twice the weight.
Right.
Just because of, you know, what we're putting into it, because we want it to last.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to put our name on something that's subpar.
Yep. Yeah, you got to make it stiff enough so it doesn't break the circuitry.
Well, when you get into a 50-inch bar, you know, that length right there, it could start to sag on you. And so we take a lot of factors into account when we create these products.
Yeah. Very nice.
Dad, Kelly asked, Kelly Sims,
Yep.
is there a law that states auxiliary lighting must be lower than the height of your driving lights unless covered while driving on the street?
It's no easy answer with that because it depends on the state.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly's here in California.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. I had only heard about 6 lights was the most you could have forward facing. That's all I had heard. So, but we'd have to look that up and see.
Yeah.
Maybe if Val's online, she could do some quick Googling or something. But yeah, good question. What else you got?
Super off topic.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
Yeah. Why not?
Have you tried to see if your JKU B-pillar armor, not the B-pillar delete, fits the JL?
I have not tried that, but we are working on the one for the JL. If you got to have something right now, I'm sure what we have could be easily modified and fit on the JL. So yeah, I don't think that'd be a problem at all. And I can check it after the show and see how close it is or isn't. So yeah.
Someone said, time to get rid of all my rigids and make a switch.
Yeah,
I like
there you
it.
go.
Yes. So on that topic, anybody that comments or asks questions at the end of this, we'll do a random drawing and Vision X will send you a swag bag. We'll contact you and send us your address and we'll take that out.
That's cool. That's a great offer. I know, I remember Joe saying something about these other companies, their top of the line light is the bottom of the line Vision X. Like that's where yours just start and go up from there. So the quality range is really just much, much higher.
Much. Yeah, it's one of those things you wish you could touch and feel. It's hard to do that nowadays, especially, you know, with e-commerce the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, you're just listening to, you know, TV commercials or us talking to you about it, right?
Or some spec list, you know, and
Yeah,
you're
you're like,
buying it. Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
You know, because raw lumen and effective lumen, you know, there's so many different ways to market.
People spin it. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just suggest, you know, if you're on the fence between us or some of the other competitors that are out there, just look up the specs and we will provide that data and you can see it right then and there before you even make the purchase.
Yeah.
What
else you got?
Someone is asking to explain the difference between raw lumens and effective lumens.
So basically the raw lumens is what you're getting when you do this
camera thing, right? Like that spot check thing.
Exactly. The effective of what's actually going to be output through that bar and the optics. Who's that? Is that Joe?
Okay, so that's raw. So what's effective?
So effective is going to be after it's in the optic, in the reflector of what you're actually producing.
So basically
light
in the
output.
light. Yeah.
Yes, light output.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does everybody rate theirs that way?
No, they don't.
So, okay, so then.
You're going to probably see raw is
Okay.
usually what you see.
So then effective, is it a good way to judge whether I get 2 of these and 1 of these, or at least within the Vision X line?
Yeah, so if you're comparing our line, you can take the specifications from the Shocker to our CG2s and compare those.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay,
because
good.
that will show you this one's going to be brighter than
or this, like this one's twice as bright as this one, or whatever that
Exactly.
is. Okay.
So if you're
at least give you an idea.
Yeah, if you're comparing it to a competitor of ours, you don't know what they're doing, right? Ours are measured the exact same way, and that's from our automotive to our marine industrial. Measured exactly the same. So we have to, hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Okay. Okay.
Someone asked where the selective yellow is on the Vision X website, like the option, like for the lens.
For the lens kit?
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
So for the lens kit, I'm not sure if you have that on your website.
I don't know if we do, Jen.
Okay. Yeah, so we can make sure you get the data for that so you can put them on yours. On Vision X Off-Road, which is our main website for us to look everything up, you will under the CG2 Canon, you will see when you, here's the 4.7, 3.7, here's the selective yellow lens and the size.
Gotcha.
So it's right on that page.
And if they're the kind of people that want to actually talk to a human being, can they call?
Of course.
Oh, there you go.
Nope.
Okay, that's my favorite way.
I want you to buy everything through GenRight.
Do you make a blackout cover for the Shocker 2?
We do not. We do not have a cover for the Shocker series yet at all, just because of the height on it. And the covers are just not as popular. What we did make them for the XPR and the XPL bar. Some people buy them sporadically, and it's a lot of cost into tooling to bring one out. And then, if we get enough demand for it, I won't say we'll never do it.
Yeah.
Just nothing right now on the docket.
Good question.
Someone asked if we could use the Switch Pros unit, or any concerns using the Switch Pros unit to control Vision X lights.
I have no concerns with that.
No, but I was going to point out that these come with a killer harness, if you like this kit that I just got, right?
So when you buy our lights in kit form, you will get a harness, and it's a dual relay harness. We use high quality relays, switches. It's plug and play, basically.
It's a lighted switch too.
It's a lighted switch. Yep, you just drill like a 3/4 inch hole.
Well, you were using one earlier, right?
Yeah, you can see.
So
let's not try to blind you over there. You can see it lights up when it's on and then off.
Yep.
Super quick and easy. Pre-terminated with the Deutsch connectors. You can see, I can just pop it out of there if you have multiple lights or Vision X, or if you need to change it. We can do it on the Shocker series right there.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And you can see, let's just go up that way. Because you can see that here.
Yeah.
Let's do that. There we go. Hard to show in a situation like this. A lighted room, without the distance. But it's we do include that with any kit. With the Unite series, you're going to get the harness with the mounting bar. If you want to do a dual circuit where you're controlling ambers, if you pick those, and clear, you can get our split power kit, which will come with 2 harnesses and then the extra pigtail to power them separately.
Gotcha. And then I can tell you that, we're stocking more and more Vision X. So if you want immediate delivery, we've got a bunch of this stuff in stock too. So
yeah. And we're West Coast as well, so if
not far away.
Yeah, not far away to get you guys resupplied and get that back out. Our corporate headquarters, our worldwide headquarters, is out of Washington State.
Yep. And I don't know if you follow me much, but I was there a year or 2 ago. I guess it's with COVID. It was 2 years ago. Yeah. Really cool facility. I got to go in and see how everything's made, and it was pretty cool. What else you got, Jim?
Someone asked if you have the covers on the lights and the lights accidentally get turned on, will it melt the covers?
No. So we can do that right now. I can show you.
Or even this one.
Yeah, we can do the blackout.
Does this one light up?
No, it will just be totally black. So we can pop the cover on and off when the light's on so they can see that. So the light's on.
Oh, yeah. So you really can't see much, huh?
No. Total blackout. So if you hit the rocker switch, you're not going to blind somebody coming down the road.
Oh, yeah. Wow. And I know I was going to show this because you can really see that thing glow as well. Yeah.
There you go. See it glow green, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So, yeah. And again, another reason I like the lighted switch is, you know, then on your dash, you can see like, hey, that light's on, dummy.
Quick and easy. Yep.
You know?
But yeah, if you did want to use something else outside of our harness.
It is bright, man. Wow. That's nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and then here's the selective yellow if you want to see that. So that was the white. I should have put two harnesses together so I could have showed a comparison. That's my fault. So you can see the difference in color right there.
Yeah. And it looks like the same amount of light. It's just different color.
Yeah. So this is just works so great in dusty situations.
I know Jeff swears by his the yellow
photon beam and the shocker.
Yeah, he swears by it.
Yeah, that one's great because I don't have a sample of it here, but you can see it on there. Is that it's selectable? You buy one bar,
yes,
but you get
and you
one
get
and
the white or
exactly.
And that is it. The selective yellow that's in there?
No, that's an amber photon beam, is what that is. So that one is not selective yellow. So for selective yellow, we make it for all of our Canon series, our Unite. We also have it for our XPR and XPL bars.
Gotcha.
Probably future down the road, there might be some more applications. Yeah.
Can you talk about using the right gauge wire to power the lights and why it's important if you have to extend the supplied wiring harness?
Okay, so the question with that, we usually give you extra length to fit pretty much every application, but if you're extending the harness, you want to at least use the same gauge wire that we've included.
Or bigger.
Or bigger,
right?
Depending on the length of the run. So it's just with anything electrical right there. You know, like someone called me the other day and wanted to run these with this factory fog light wiring harness. It will not run.
I know, they want to use that switch,
the factory switch,
yeah.
It won't run because it's not enough. Even though it says a 10 amp and these draw 2 or 3 depending on which one it is, it's just not the 16 gauge plus or 18 gauge wire just won't run these lights.
This size probably.
Yes, some of them will do that. It just depends. Like a Ford Super D will not, because it's really thin 18 gauge wire on those. It's crazy. So what we recommend doing in those situations, if you do want to run your factory switch, you can cut our switch off and just trigger our relays with that factory switch.
Gotcha.
It gives you the option to do that.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And so most of ours are all 14 gauge. You know, for every light we have, our high current will be a 12, and then it's going to have bigger Deutsch connectors as well.
Gotcha.
And that's on it'll be on like the 40-inch Shocker series bars. It'll be on the 50 or the 40-inch and 50-inch Unite series.
Yeah, and whether you know this or not, but the further you go away from the battery, you know, it's dropping in voltage, and it's harder to supply the amount of power that these things need. So the gauge of the wire is always important.
Yeah, and that's anything electrical, not just lights.
Yeah, whether you run a compressor or whatever.
Stereo amplifier, right? Yeah, same thing, yeah.
Yeah, you notice those come with big cables.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yep. What else you got, James?
Lots of people say they're here for the swag bag.
All
right. I like it.
Nice. Boy, that got him excited. I like it.
So someone asked, do you guys have a system built in to not let them run with the wrong gauge wire? I've seen some setups that get really hot and cause fire hazards because of the gauge.
So yeah, so our circuitry is all built in. So it's PWM, pulse width modulation. So if it sees not enough current, it just won't turn on. But with ours as well, we have a range of voltage you can run. You can run from 9 volts to 28 volts, and that light will run. So if you have a 24-volt system, you can still use our lights, not have to buy a separate 24-volt light.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that way if it's running too low, it'll just cut off.
Yeah, it just won't even turn on. Usually a telltale sign, especially with LED and it's too small of gauge wire, either A, they won't turn on, or they'll flicker.
And then go to the brighter or the bigger cable.
And you'll notice that more so with the lesser expensive models that are out there.
Okay.
That's what we got right now.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left, guys and gals. So if you have any other questions, fire them in so we can get you in on this last bit. Did you have some off-topic stuff, James?
I'll add another swag bag so 2 people can win.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Questions though this time.
Yeah. And maybe if you're smart, you would mention that you already have Vision X in your comment. Maybe you're more likely to win.
Someone asked if you have a rear race bar and how difficult it is to wire.
So we do have 2 chaser bars
Yep.
that are available in our XPL series. I don't have one here.
No, I've got one on Terremoto.
Yep.
And so does Jeff. Jeff's got one too.
Yeah, so ours is, it's pretty simple to wire them. It's user selectable, so it just depends on the application, really. You're gonna have 5 circuits coming out of our wiring harness from the light, and one's for like stop, one's for brake, the clear for the cargo light, work light, and then flashing amber and solid amber. So you can control all those depending on the circuit, how you're powering it.
Can you do turn signals through that too? Or,
No.
No. Okay, so
not on that
it's either running or brake.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
We haven't gotten many calls on the ones for turn signals. Even
No.
Razor guys and all that kind of stuff. They're
Yeah.
like, those guys that usually
You
need the
would
turn
think
signal
that
are
they
on
need a
road.
turn signal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. But it's also built really heavy duty like these.
Yeah, so it's
not,
our XPL bar.
not a chintzy thing.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So
Lifetime warranty on that one as well. And we have them in 28-inch wide for like smaller
I think
UTV
that's what I
cages. And
have,
then we have 35 as well.
yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Does the high 4 adapter work with JK factory LEDs?
That's a good question. This was in the
I
later
don't
years.
know that. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's tried that. We've not tested that way.
Well, you could be the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think that it should work because it's a
Right.
harness that's just teeing it off and then it's powering the low beam circuit.
So
No warranty on that one. But let me know if it works.
What's the difference between the race shocker and the normal?
oh yeah, I saw that you have 2 different ones.
Yeah, so we're actually moving away from the race. When they first came out, the race had a higher wattage photon beam, is really what it was. That gave you distance. Whereas more people were wanting what we called our trail version, which would give you distance and some width, so you get that peripheral vision to left and right. That one has outsold the race version 100 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are moving forward. We still have some race versions available, so if you're interested in getting one and you want that just extreme distance, get it now.
Before they're gone.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Do you include factory plugs so we can connect to the factory fog lights / lights and hook it to your harness?
Depending on your application, so we do make OEM replacement fog light kits that use our Optimus series for like the JKs, the JLs, the JTs, as well as trucks. And those will come with a jumper harness that's basically going to connect our light, that Deutsch connector, to the H13 or whatever it is on your
Factory
truck.
thing, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Jeep.
What would you suggest as a good setup of Vision X lights on a JK?
It depends on kind of what you're using it for, right?
Yeah, I mean, so say it's just the average off-roader. Would you recommend something, like this and this, or more?
I would definitely do the headlight upgrades. And if you have the factory bumper, I would do our Optimus series upgrades there.
These guys. Yeah.
And then if you wanted to keep it kind of factory looking, that would be the way to go. And it's going to be 100% improvement from what
Because
you
you
have.
guys make an A-pillar mount for that as well, right?
Correct. So then if you want to have the look or more lighting, then A-pillar mounts, the cowl mounts as you see on this. We even have the windshield brackets to put a big bar up top if you want to do it that way. A lot of people will run these on the A-pillars or on the bumper. And if you do these with our headlights, you won't need anything else.
There you go.
Is it okay to run my shocker bar with the amber and white on at the same time? Which I think
We
touched on that one.
before.
It's not the heat
It should be
produced
a
from it.
rocker switch, so you should not be able to do that.
Yeah.
But the answer is no, it's not okay.
Yeah, you'd have to modify the harness to make that work.
And they don't want you to do that.
No.
do you make again, we kind of touched on this before, but do you make interior lights or pods?
So we do have the pods that we were talking about, which you can use the Pro Pod as interior lights.
Jamie's doing that.
Yeah.
In the Growler.
We do make some tap-on dome lights, you know, that are wireless, battery powered. We do offer some of that stuff as well because that's trickled over from, you know, our older days doing, you know, more of the sport compact stuff, as well as, you know, people will use it in like, you know, the beds of these construction trucks and whatnot. So we still offer that.
Sure. And I can tell you it's, you know, not because it's not a direct competitor of yours, but we do offer interior light that has a switch on it as well. Yeah, that's our SSV one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very nice light.
Yeah.
I had that on my Razor.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You have an amber or selective yellow lens cover for the Dura Mini.
No. So we do not make covers for the Dura Minis. We are talking about doing an amber version of it, an amber LED. But right now, that is OEM'd. It's not available in the aftermarket.
Gotcha. That's a cool looking light. It looks kind of like this, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people use those. We use them in some
I've got them as
fog light
backup
kits,
lights.
Backup
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah.
Rack lights if you have them up top. Yeah.
It's funny, I forget about how many Vision X lights I've got on Terramoto. They're all over the place on that thing. Pretty stealth. Yeah, well, we're just about out of time. There was something else I was thinking when they were asking about different lights on the Jeeps. About just the setup, because I've got these little guys on the bumper, but this is a nice size. You know, I had the bigger 6.7, which is more like this size on there. And this is really kind of coming into a nice spot. Now, are these like flood and spot as well, or does it just come one as it?
So with our CG2s, the multi-LED is gonna give you that combo beam, some distance, as well as that peripheral vision for ditch lighting. If you buy the single chip, distance only.
Okay, in this size.
It's going to be spot beam.
Okay.
Yeah, in this size, yes. And we make the single LED in all sizes, as well as the multi-LED in all sizes in that CG2 series.
Huh, interesting. And are the multis more popular, or?
Again, it kind of depends on what you're using it for. You know, feel free to, you know, reach out to us for, you know, recommendations, or your guys, because, you know, you use them all the time as well. But, you know, a lot of people, if they run 4 lights, I tell them to run the pair of the spots, the single filament, and these. Like on my F-150 and the factory fog lights of a 2020, I did 2 of our dual 3-inch squares, one in a 3 LED, one in a single, and it's in the selective yellow, and it's
Oh, that's right. This is not only available as a round, but in a
Square.
square. So I forget about that all the time. Yeah. So that's people like that look, right? So they can still get that with you guys.
exactly.
Even though we didn't show any today.
Yeah, I could have filled this whole room up with lights.
Someone asked, for fog, would you recommend amber or select yellow?
I will always go for selective yellow versus an amber cover, just because you're not losing the light output.
Yeah.
I would always do that. Before, when we didn't have selective yellow,
Then amber.
amber was it, but then we found a better way of
Doing
producing that yellow light.
Yeah. And I think, Jamie, we still have a limited number of these on the website in silver on sale. So if you're interested in this size, we've got some that we're still kind of blowing out. So
Yeah.
take a look if you're looking for deals.
Still will come with a lifetime warranty as well.
There you go. So,
I think we got one more question, basically. Do you guys have anything that is meant for more backwards facing? I don't want to blind anyone, but I also want to be able to see.
So I would recommend our Dura series.
That's what I was
Duralux
thinking,
is
yeah.
for that, because you're not going to get that crazy brightness with these, but it's going to be bright enough to see. So like an example, our Gladiator reverse light kit, we use our Dura minis in that, and it throws light on the wall. It's a kind of a mixed beam, so you get like a little bit of distance and then that flood pattern with it.
Earlier you had mentioned, I don't know if you're referring to like overland, but like side lighting, is the Dura that?
Dura would be
well?
great for that. Yeah, we make the Dura series in multiple beam patterns. So we can make it in a spot, 10 degree, all the way to a 60 degree flood. So there's 10, 20, 40, and 60. And then we have the mixed, which gives you the 10 and the 25.
Right. And
Yeah.
that has a mount like this?
Yes.
Like a
A
stud,
stud mount, yep. So pretty much all of our lights now in terms of round or square are going to come with our trunnion bracket, where it gives you that full adjustability, which we have some of the more adjustable lights than anybody else. Mount them upside down, sideways. And then we do make security hardware as well. Since our lights are expensive and you're investing some into this, you can buy these special bolts that are stainless, and it takes a special tool to take them off.
Good
That way
point.
nobody's just ripping off
Out
your
there, yeah, where
8.7
you're
Canon.
parked at the shopping mall or at work, right?
Yeah.
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 Cool. All right. All right. Well, we've eaten up the hour. That was a quick one. Thanks for coming out
Thanks for having me,
to
Tony.
show off some cool lights and answer questions. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We'll be back next Tuesday, and we've got lots more to talk about in terms of cool upgrades and things for your Jeep. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you then.